Hey y'all, this is Marla K. Hope everybody is well. Got a story I want to share with you about Bitcoin. I'm trying to catch y'all up on the no buy, no sell system that is about to go live. I don't know how soon, but I just want to talk about these stories because I want you to see a pattern developing so that you can follow it for yourselves. There are a lot of things going on all over the place, and I hate to be all over the place. I like to be consistent, but this is a time that I'm not going to be able to be consistent. Um, I'm just gonna have to go wherever the Holy Spirit leads me and share the stuff with y'all so that y'all can be prepared. But this thing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and these governments or kingdoms, I like to try to make the connection for y'all so that you can see how all these nations have already given their powers over to the system. The system is, it's like we're watching a movie, or it's like everybody's faking it. The real thing that is to come, is hidden behind all this stuff, and everybody's got to play their parts. They've been playing and pretending for a long time, and so now we're at the point where all the economy's got to collapse. You got to have the chaos, and there are so many things happening all over the globe. You see the weather phenomenons where like countries are getting you know, years worth of rain in a few hours. And that explains why we've been seeing all of this spraying in the skies. Um, you look at what's going on with the protest here in America. All of a sudden, students protesting right before June, right before whatever's supposed to come is coming. Students protested, and they are the powers have introduced a bill where you can't talk about the certain people that you can never talk about, and arresting students and using uh, excessive force on white people. I'm just gonna say that on white people. For the most part, black people staying out of the way and minding their business. You see all this distractions with black people, rap battles between Quavo and Chris Brown and Kendrick Lamar and um, J. Cole and Drake. All this black tension, black people arguing with black people, and then the ignorance in our community, in the black community, where people are just oblivious to like what's coming. And no matter how much you tell them, it's a red light blinking. It's the train is coming right for us. It's going to knock us off our butts. They just don't get it. And so there are just a lot of things going on. Your grocery prices are going up. Rents are going up. Mortgages are going up. People are being dropped from their homeowners insurance policies. People are still being laid off. Banks are failing. Lots of things are happening all over the world, and it's like black people are just stuck on we the people. uh we got to get back to living the old testament, obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. We have dissension in the Israelite community where people are fighting each other about what's the right name to call uh, the Messiah, uh, our King. What do you call God? Like ancillary little I'm not saying that it's insignificant, but the way that black people latch on to stuff that's so not important, it just goes to show you how um, lacking of confidence our people are, in particular our men. Like, some of the stuff that I see and I hear, I'm just like, oh my God, we sound so crazy. and then it reminds me of, why the Most High had to do away with the law because, here we are just awakening and finding out who we are. And then all these people all of a sudden stepping up, all these people who should have no power or no platform to speak to people because they are corrupt, um, carnal, lustful. They have platforms and they're speaking. You have people who get a little bit of knowledge and they are experts and they are just weirded out. Like, it is a crazy time to be alive, but I'm trying to not focus on those distractions. I will talk about some of them in a little bit, but I want to talk about the things that we can control and the things that we can see that we can use as data points. And for me, the economy is really important because once our money loses value, it means we are basically, um, you know, swimming in the ocean with sharks. And whatever we got is whatever we have. It's just getting ready to be a really rough time. And the first thing that is going to make it rough is that when the uh, economy collapses, everything else is going to collapse around us. And for a lot of people who are short-sighted and who have the inability to see, or who are just flat out stupid, they're going to panic. And, what I want to do is keep us calm, grounded, level headed, and, aware of what's happening. This chaos is coming, and, all these things are going on at one time, let alone we're talking about the new virus that's out, whichever one, maybe multiple ones that they unleash on us. We got a supply chain issue. We got banking issues. We are having infrastructure upgrades and infrastructure issues. There's a lot of stuff going on, and people think they're just going to be able to move around freely and be able to go to the store. Um, the first pandemic was a dry run for what's to come. And so I'm urging you to be prepared as you can to defend yourselves and to just have what you need on your person, just in case you have to go some days or weeks without electricity, without access to grocery stores, without access to fuel for your cars, without access to water, clean water. There are a lot of things that you can do now while your money is still of value to make it through rough patches. And I don't think that the Most High just expects you to just look up and just be like, trust me. I'm not saying that He won't do it for those who absolutely cannot do it. But if you have the means to do something, you are supposed to work to do something. Sometimes faith is hearing something and putting some action behind uh, moving to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones. It's obedience. I see danger. I need to move out of the way. I see lack in the future, so I need to prepare now. It's like having oil in your lamp. You need to have extra oil so that when the oil um, runs out of your lamp, you can refill your lamp and not be looking around expecting somebody else to give you oil because you didn't prepare. You knew something was coming, or you just know that having lamp requires oil. It needs to be maintained. What happens when you run out? The ignorant person doesn't think about that, or the person who lives for the day doesn't think about that. The person who is um, forward thinking and uh, preparing for risk, or who thinks of risk. And you could think of it for spiritually, the person who thinks about all the devices of the adversary. They think, what do I need to do to protect myself from the adversary? And this is how we should be thinking right now, because there are a lot of things happening. We don't know when the calamities begin, how they'll end, but we know they're coming because they've already been prophesied. So what we need to do is prepare. So without further ado, let me read this story to you. And it came out on the 26th of April, 2024. So it says Thomas Jordan, the long-standing chairman of Swiss National Bank, has warned about risks associated with Bitcoin. Now, after all this time, after all these years, suddenly Bitcoin is a risk. And why is that? So it says the largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization is not something without risk. So now they're telling you, at one point it was the thing to invest in. Get it? It's safe. It's safe. It's better than money. It's lets you do business with people and la 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 la. Now it is just a risk. Jordan has noted that currency reserves are supposed to be liquid and sustainable. Recently, Bitcoin activist Yves, I guess it's Ives Ben Aim, has started an initiative to pass a constitutional amendment that would allow the SNB, so it's the Swiss National Bank, to hold Bitcoin as a reserve asset. The activist aims to collect 100,000 signatures in order to trigger a referendum. He recently told MarketWatch that he expects a referendum vote to fail given how conservative the Swiss people are. However, the self-described toxic Bitcoin maximalist wanted to start a broader discussion about the SMB, regurgitating the typical libertarian propaganda. It is worth noting that 78% of Swiss voters rejected an initiative by conservative politicians to compel the central bank to expand its gold reserves referendum during a referendum that was held in 2014. The SMB reportedly boasts total gold reserves at 1,040 tons, which makes it one of the largest holders of the yellow metal amongst major central banks. So you see, the central banks have been gone back and buying gold for a long time. This is why I've been telling people that I know who have money to buy gold, because these people know what's coming. And yes, gold is undervalued now, just like silver is. But when the economy collapses, everybody's going to be sitting pretty who got gold, and people who got fiat currency or some other crap that's on a computer screen, that's not tangible. You're going to be left holding the bag. You're going to be stripped of your wealth. And so these people know this, and they have been planning. You think about 2014 to 2024, that's 10 years. So, the powers, they do things slowly, gradually, and they believe in, numbers and codes and clues and signs. So it's significant that this happened back in 2014. So it says in March, Jordan said that he was going to step down from his role after 12 years in a major shakeup. He became the chairman of the Swiss National Bank in 2012. So the fact that they're saying in Switzerland, one of the richest countries on the planet, through theft, of course, but that's neither here nor there. They're rich. The people there are rich. They're saying that Bitcoin has risk. So there's a concerted effort globally to undermine cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And it has to be because they want everyone to use the central bank digital currency, and they're boasting about the central banks being stocked with gold. So, it's just a Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. But part of coming out of the system is getting away from all those things and all those devices. Understanding that if you are involved in anything that has to do with cryptocurrency, it's going to be banned and it's going to be worthless, or it's going to be regulated and it's not going to be what you thought it was. Even if it's for investment, you have been a part of their pilot project. And so now they're ready to end it because they got the critical mass needed, or the buy-in needed, to transition to central bank digital currency. And that's why you keep hearing these different conversations about banks and digital currencies, banks and gold. They want you to know that this is going to be, the national bank moving forward. And these people know this. We are the ones that just can't put it together. But just keep preparing for economic collapse. I don't think it's by accident that all of a sudden everybody's singing the same tune about this cryptocurrency or digital currency. And we can't for one moment take for granted that your money is going to be worth something. You could wake up tomorrow and your money ain't worth nothing, or inflation is such that you can't afford anything. Like a loaf of bread is $100. So just think about it. If you got a check that's $800, you can only buy a loaf of bread and something else to eat, because you have to try to pay all the rest of your bills, and the rest of your bills, they're going to be sky high too because of inflation, because the dollar is not worth anything anymore. So while you have money that's worth something, buy things that are tangible that you can possess, and buy a little bit of silver. If you can afford to buy gold, buy gold. It's going to be out the wazoo when the economy collapses, because BRICS is transitioning to a digital currency. They're already trading in their own currencies, and their digital currency is going to be backed by gold. Everybody's digital stuff is going to, or they say it's going to be backed by gold. So the gold standard is coming back. America is going to have to get in where they fit in. We're not going to be the number one currency in the world anymore. And so that means we're going to be stuck holding the bag. Just make sure you are prepared as best you can be for what is to come. And pay attention to what's going on with these banks. This news about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is really important because it's a data point, but it's showing you where they are headed. I don't think it's an accident that all of a sudden cryptocurrency is bad and it needs to be regulated, and it needs to be regulated now, or just outright banned. So it's going to be either one or the other. It's going to be regulated and it comes under government regulation, then you already know what time it is. If it is banned, then it's also a sign that if it's banned, it's because that nation already has its own currency they're ready to implement. And it's not going to be their own currency. It's going to be one currency. Everybody going to be using the same thing. They just are rolling out these different alternatives. But at the end of the day, all the people who are creating these currencies are part of this beast infrastructure. So don't think, excuse me, don't think that one is better than the other. It's not. They're all on the same team, just singing a different song or moving in a different direction, but they're on the same team. All right, so keep watch, family. Keep watch, keep watch, keep watch. This stuff about this cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is very interesting, but at the end of the day, it's all tied to the no buy, no sell system getting ready to come online. So we just got to pay attention, keep watching, prepare ourselves for what happens when that time comes, because it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. We won't be caught off guard, but we will have to make decisions about how we move going forward. All right, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Instagram, and on Facebook. The links are in the description. Anytime I get booted from this platform on YouTube, that's my primary platform, I'll be posting on Rumble. So if you follow me on those other platforms, you'll be able to catch up with me. And all the old content from YouTube, in the event that they take the channel down, it is uploaded to Odyssey and Rumble. If you'd like to support the channel financially with a donation, a link to my Venmo and my coffee are at the very bottom of the description. I don't use ads, and I do not sponsor anything. I don't have any sponsors. So if you donate directly to me. This is because the good news should be free. You shouldn't be paying me to warn you. So that's how I feel about it. You do, you do. You don't, you don't. That's why I work. Lastly, keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High. Obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. Stay out of all of the drama that is going on, because there's a lot of stuff going on, especially in the Israelite community. Black people done lost their minds, and the powers that be are sitting back laughing as we destroy ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally. We're divided, and we're easily conquered this way. So keep that in mind. This has happened all throughout history, where our adversaries have come in, spied on us, then set traps and stand back and watch us destroy ourselves. That's exactly what's happening right now. And unfortunately, both the men and the women in the community cannot see it. This is why I don't get into any of that fray with this black man, black woman drama, following up this system. I don't do that, because I understand that what the adversary is doing. And if people are not mature enough to put those differences aside and understand who the real villain is and fight that together, we don't stand a chance. And this is why it's only going to be a remnant um, of us that are saved, because too many of our people are carnal, selfish. They don't love their brothers and sisters, and they treat them any kind of way. So um, we just got to be better than that. We got to live differently. We got to look differently. We got to walk differently. We got to talk differently. We got to think differently, period. And that's part of what this channel is about. So I will be talking about things that nobody else black probably is talking about, because I'm not talking about racism no more. Racism, we're excluded from racism. Racism now is between white people. White people have stolen our identity, and they are the minorities now, whether it's alphabet, whether it's the ish people, um, persons with disabilities, white women, victims of whatever you want to call it. Like, white people have just taken over everything. So let them have it. This is their country. This is their stuff. These are their rules. We just need to navigate being here, understanding we're still in captivity, and they're not going to do nothing for us. They're not going to give us nothing but a hard time. And so if you think that way, you should be trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. You should be trying to work together with your neighbors, and get your weight up spiritually, because it's going to be definitely a spiritual battle, and probably some of the toughest people you'll deal with will be your family. So be prepared for anything and everything. That even includes natural disasters. Y'all see how they spraying this stuff in the air. They're in I can't remember if it's Abu Dhabi. Someplace already got caught seeding clouds, and they talked about it. So the world is waking up to what's happening, and people are watching, which is a beautiful thing. And people are not just watching, they're talking about it, which is a beautiful thing. So if you are awakened, you're seeing all sorts of revelations happening. You just need to make sure you are in a position to prepare yourself. So make sure you prepare for physical disasters, financial disasters, financial economic disasters, weather disasters. We're getting ready to embark on hurricane season soon, and they're anticipating a whole lot of bad weather. Of course they are, because they've been spraying us for the last year with all kind of stuff in the clouds. So you could be living someplace that doesn't ordinarily get a lot of rain, and you could get a lot of rain. So you might need to buy you some life vest or a life raft or something, an inner tube, something to protect yourself uh, in the event that you're flooded. Like we just gotta we you gotta look around and see what's going on in the world and be proactive. Because sitting around thinking, oh, that's bad, it happened over there. Well, it could happen to you. And you could have went to Walmart and got you a life vest, but you didn't. You took your money and bought a $25 hamburger from Five Guys when you could have got a a life vest or a life vest or a boating jacket. Um, you could have got a tent because you might lose your home. You could have a bike. Maybe you can't get to work. Maybe you buy you some good shoes because you might have to walk. We're gonna have to really be thinking about these types of things because um, they're definitely y'all know who they are, children of the corn. They're definitely on a mission to take as many of us out as they can and make um, the weather bad so they can declare this climate emergency. The language is already there. The bills are already in place. The adversary has already developed the tools and devices to deceive the ignorant, and they've already figured out a way to make us look crazy by calling us conspiracy theorists. So even when people see it, they still won't believe it, and we can't do anything about that. But what you can do is control what you can control. So if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's my motto. So work with people like minded. And if you don't have anybody like minded to work with, work alone. Be like Noah and his family. If it's just your family, work with your family. If it's not and it could be your siblings or your children and you don't live in the same household, connect with the people who are like-minded and work with them. Don't worry about anybody else who's around you, because the swift kick up the pants is coming. And when it does, people are going to be caught off guard, unaware. They're going to be panicking. And, we'll talk about how you may need to act as a gray person who knows a lot, but you can't let on that you know a lot, because people be coming trying to steal from you, steal your energy, steal your knowledge, and steal your stuff if you've put away a few things to try to make it to the end. So think about those things, family. Something is going on. Don't know what it is, but something is going on. And the closer we get to June, this next quarter looks like a lot of stuff is going to happen, and it could be just a bunch of severe storms with a lot of impact. I don't know, but something is happening, so let us keep watch. All right, this is Marta K. Love y'all, and I'm out.